WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood. Now it's 6:30.
Hey everybody, we are live from Ormond Beach. We have been waiting for a long time for this. Tonight, here on News 6 Plus, our live stream. Welcome to Grind Gastro Pub and Kona Tiki Bar. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
And I'm Justin Warmoth. We have been here since 4 o'clock this afternoon, bringing you the stories that make this part of Central Florida so special. And of course, the people of Ormond Beach have been with us every single second. They are still here tonight. We have met some unbelievable people. Never gets old. It's one of my favorite parts about hitting the road. It is the part. It's why we do it.
I always tell people no news happens back in the newsroom, and this is where it actually happens, and it matters the most. There are people who have come up to us and given us story ideas or talked about something that they saw before that they really enjoyed. We would never get that if we weren't here.
And here's the thing, too. You see this hat? Embry-Riddle baseball hat. Because my college baseball coach, I went here. He came today and he delivered this Embry-Riddle baseball hat. He was the tall gentleman. He played professionally. But yeah, so he came up. This is one of his favorite restaurants. He's buddies with the owner. And so it's really cool to be up here. And yes, to your point, I would never have received this hat if we didn't hit the road.
That's exactly right. And I'm sorry that you didn't get to taste the food we got to taste earlier.
I saw it.
But I know why this is his favorite place.
Yeah.
Everything has been so good from top to bottom. Service, the people. Mwah. Chef's kiss.
Chef's
to
kiss,
all of
baby.
You out there. Yeah, exactly. All right. And the rain even held off for the most part.
It did. I mean, a little sprinkle, but based on what we were seeing, I was concerned myself. And then when we got here and I said, this is a tiki bar, a legit tiki bar, I was even more concerned. But it held off. It's getting a little chilly, so let's bring in meteorologist David Nazario here, pinpointing where the rain is falling tonight.
Yes, and we're going to be watching the radar for the next couple of hours. But for you all up there in Ormond Beach, we're looking pretty solid, to tell you the truth. We have one small band of very light rainfall that's just continuing to dissolve as it moves further off towards the east. So you all will be good to go, and that cooler, drier air will build in rapidly right behind it. We've seen a consolidating of all of our strongest and heaviest rainfall through Osceola, Orange, now pushing its way into central and southern Brevard County. That's going to persist for about another 30 to 45 minutes before the lighter stuff back behind it can start to work its way through. But all in all, this is starting to move faster and faster, it seems. I don't have it overlaid now, but I know our neighbors on the west coast of Florida and Polk County, as these storms blew through with some gusty convective winds, we actually have a few power outages. More to come on that. I'll show you the overlay later on into the show. But that's very interesting of note. This is our storm system bringing all that fresh, cold air down. You can see it really stretched out thanks to the jet stream, starting in the central eastern Gulf, ripping across central Florida, up into the western Atlantic, and then back behind it, we're going to be cooling down big time as we go through your Friday and into the weekend. Justin, Ginger, back to you.
All right, David, thank you. You know, one of the concerns we've been hearing from people who live out here in this beautiful part of the world is about growth. Colleen wrote to us saying traffic is out of control near LPGA Boulevard, Granada Boulevard, and A1A. And Carl said this: Ormond Beach is a great place to live, but overdevelopment is getting out of control.
It's interesting to hear that feedback, because what we've seen and what I've learned is that their population has kind of remained steady. Now, that's not saying that development has been happening all around Ormond and maybe in the Volusia County section of Ormond Beach, the unincorporated, but they've had some steady growth over the years. But we also found out a long delayed development could soon start to take shape, and that really could have an impact on the traffic, and even more of an impact. So around 3,000 acres just south of Destination Daytona is where this massive project is slated. I hit the road to learn more about what's in store for Ormond Crossings. This huge swath of land near I-95 and US 1 in Ormond Beach may not look like much now, but it's about to undergo a major transformation. Housing, retail, and industrial all intertwined for a mixed-use development known as Ormond Crossings. That name probably sounds familiar to some longtime Ormond Beach locals. Ormond Crossings has been in the works since 2004. It's been delayed for a number of different reasons over the years, including the 2008 recession, but the city is confident that shovel will finally hit dirt on this 3,000 acres after the land was sold to a new developer in December of 2023.
It'll have a great impact for the city of Ormond Beach. That's Brian Rademacher, the Economic Development Director for the city. He told us the project will have 3 phases: industrial, mixed use, and residential. And it'll straddle both sides of I-95.
It's kind of a live, work, play development here at this intersection.
About 500 acres on the east side of I-95 is where the Commerce Park is being built. It's the industrial component of this project, critical for job creation and diversifying the city's economy. Security First is the first one to move in, but there is plenty of space for other companies. Around 2 million square feet of space will be set aside for light industrial, office, retail, and warehouse uses. For perspective, the average Costco is around 140,000 square feet, so like 14 Costco's worth of square footage for companies to expand or relocate here. And over on the west side of 95 is where the mixed use and residential portions of this project will be built. This is where the town center will take shape, featuring retail, restaurants, smaller offices mixed in with some apartments. Think of a mini downtown with some walkability, and on the western edge of the property, there's room for about 2,500 homes.
Having it being so integrated, it really reduces one's need to go out onto the streets and to go somewhere else for their grocery shopping, for their restaurant, or for their retail. They can do it all right here.
And as Ormond Crossings begins to take shape, $340 million worth of upgrades are coming to I-95 and US 1. This is the same exit that you would take to get to the iconic Harley-Davidson dealership and showroom here. This is one of the oldest interchanges in Florida's interstate system. It's been here since the 60s, desperately needs upgrades. So FDOT is looking to redesign and modernize the interchange to alleviate congestion and improve safety through this busy stretch, not just for drivers, but for pedestrians and bicyclists as well.
So the goal is to have construction on that road project done, not done. We're not quite sure. You never want to put a stamp on done, but started by 2027 at some point. The thing is, that could line up perfectly with Ormond Crossings starting to take shape as well, because it's up to the developer on how things stand, also the home builders as well. So this is going to take some time. It's a long, drawn out, maybe a 15, 20-year process. Again, it's been in the works since 2004. So but they said that shovel could finally hit dirt here coming soon.
That's how a lot of things come together. We see it like 10 years, and then all of a sudden, all of them are starting to build at the same time. So it looks like, oh my God, it happened all at once, but it really didn't happen all at once. None of that happens all at once.
And I think it's so interesting too. I mean, you could have done a whole separate story on that interchange being modified. The I-95 US 1 interchange, one of the oldest in the entire state, was when it comes to the interstate highway system, because since the 60s it hasn't been upgraded. That's crazy.
Oh wow.
It's dangerous, and so that could have been a story in itself, but to have it line up with where that development is going, I felt like it was needed to.
I feel like that's still a story.
It's still the story. It's still the story. And also, Ginger, viewers also wanted you to check out some new visitors. Maybe they're not tax-paying visitors, but they are visitors.
No, yeah, they are, and they really are unique. So we got an email from one viewer asking us to check out a unique art exhibit with life-size statues. So I went to check it out and discovered that these works of art are turning heads. We're here in beautiful Ormond Beach, where obviously the beaches are gorgeous. The food is great. This is the birthplace of speed, and one of the richest men in the world, John D. Rockefeller, once called this place home. But there are some temporary residents here who don't say a whole lot, but they get a bunch of attention. Meet Monet. He's part of an art installation of sculptures that has infused new life into downtown Ormond Beach as part of their Main Street program. The Ormond Beach Arts District worked for about a year to raise money and get the collection here. And so far,
people seem to love them very much, and children particularly love them. But everybody, I think people are attracted to the fact that they are life-size, that they look, as you walk by them, if you're not paying attention, you might think they're real people.
Julia Trujillo is president of the Ormond Beach Arts District.
You know, it's the question of looking familiar, of looking like something that they can approach.
These lifelike creations arrived last November and have been captivating visitors from day one.
I have seen several people having conversations with them, even though they are not getting much in the way of answers.
Created by Seward Johnson, a grandson in the well-known Johnson & Johnson family, they are done in a style known as hyper-realism.
He's detail-oriented. Everything about these figures is extremely lifelike.
And they blend right in with everyone else. In fact, it took me a minute to notice the woman sitting on the bench.
You can see her sitting right there. You see her?
I don't, but
There she, the yellow dress, see her?
so that's a sculpture.
That's a sculpture.
Do people realize that?
No, from this distance, I don't think people realize
Because
that.
she just looks like a woman just sitting there, minding her business. Even the items in her purse look real. Lipstick, a wallet, a pen. Each sculpture has a special lifelike quality. The life-size figures each weigh about 600 pounds, and they are pretty hard to miss. How many have you seen so far? We found people just exploring and admiring them.
We're just amazed at the detail.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the clothes these statues are wearing. I mean, it's amazing. Seams.
Oh, yeah, and the texture on the jeans and all that.
Beverly Fox is visiting from Palm Coast and has seen Johnson's work in other places. She's glad they're in Ormond Beach now so she can show them off to her friends. Are you going to do the whole tour?
Oh, definitely. I'm going to drag them around.
People come from all over to see these statues, not only to see them, but to be seen with them. They're a very popular spot to take selfies. Truillo says their social media pages are filled with people who love posing with the sculptures.
Every time I see one of them, there's people around it.
Judy Stein is a big part of why these sculptures are here. She saw them somewhere else and took a chance when she lobbied to bring them to Ormond Beach.
Yeah, well, sure, it could have gone anyway, and it was a big deal, you know, for us to do this. So the fact that it's been so successful, I have to say, it's really gratifying. It's really gratifying for me.
Yeah, you never know how it's going to turn out.
No, it's been a labor of love.
There are 13 of these statues spread out around Ormond Beach, but don't worry, they've made them easy for you to find. You can complete the 1-mile loop of artwork in about 1 hour, longer if you linger. This has been, Matt told me earlier that someone said they came here specifically because they saw that story. That warms my heart because I didn't know about them either until we got the email from the viewer.
Ginger,
so thank you.
If not for the traffic, I would have been here a little bit earlier because I had plans to go check them out myself because I want to see them. I mean, honestly, they look so lifelike and just a real, your story did it for me, and I was
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And it's right here, too. I mean,
I know. They're everywhere. They're spread out, and there are 13 of them. And they are raising money now to bring a different collection in January. Wow. So they're, get in touch with them so you can sponsor the new ones that are coming into town starting January. We'll be right back.
We are thrilled because I watch Channel 6 all the time. I feel like you're part of my family. I know all of you, and it's great. We're glad to have you here, really.
That's nice.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Only on 6 tonight, one of the longest running self-defense classes in Central Florida taught by police. And Ormond Beach PD says it's also one of the most popular things that they do. It's called SLAP. It's an acronym. It stands for Self-Defense for Ladies and Assault Prevention.
Okay, so teaching women exclusively not to become ninjas, but to be a little more prepared. Oh, and by the way, did we mention the class is free? All right, News 6 anchor Eric Von Anken meets the instructor to see how he's getting results protecting our community.
The things I want to teach is easy to remember so that in the situation, if it occurs after all the education, the crime prevention, you did all of that and somehow you still ended up in the situation, you don't have to think about it, it's going to happen. One of the first moves that I teach is a palm heel strike to the face.
Sergeant Jay Brennan, you are the instructor here at the Ormond Beach Police Department of the SLAP class because you came up with this.
Yes, it felt like it was a responsibility, and we had the opportunity to give it to the citizens.
You invented it because you are a martial artist. I should
yes, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, practiced some other martial arts.
And from my understanding, you took all of your training and all of your knowledge and all of your skills, and you created a class that you could share some of this information with the women here in the community.
Right, it's an introduction to self-defense. A lot of it is education, crime prevention techniques and strategies to prevent it from even getting there. But if it gets there, and you'll be a little bit more prepared. So the next one would be also, the strike would be with a forearm, and it'd be anywhere between here and here. You're not going to be a ninja from taking only a 2-hour class.
Right.
You took martial arts for several years to get to where you were, so did I. And we know that continuous practice of any technique is the best method of retaining that technique. So this is really just getting them in a mindset that things do happen.
Sergeant Brennan has taught hundreds of women since 2016, from high school athletes to church groups. Police gave us this video of his most recent class.
Is it realistic for
100%.
someone to take what they just learned here after 2 hours and walk out and be a little bit better off in potentially a life-threatening situation?
100%. I think that if you're uneducated in anything and you learn some specific details or strategies to prepare yourself a little bit more, if that was to occur later, that you will be a little bit more prepared than you were before.
Now, I should tell you that the sergeant's class is by request, so that means if you or your group are looking to set something up, send them an email. I put a link to their email address inside this story on our website at clickorlando.com. Look under the Getting Results, Protecting Our Community tab. We're now protecting our community in Ormond Beach. Eric Von Anken, Getting Results, News 6.
I love this because you know what criminals don't want? They don't want to fight and they don't want attention. If you can put up a little bit of a fight, they're like, I'm out. Because that's going to...
That to the nose? That'll do it.
Justin, seems like you've been in some...
I can't go to that class. Here's the thing. I was very much paying attention because, hey, if someone comes on...
Yeah, hey.
Boom. Now
you
I'm
don't
ready.
want this heat. You don't want the smoke.
Ready.
Yeah, exactly. No, I love that, and especially because it is for women.
Yes.
And sometimes people prey on them because they think they're weaker. But if you can just fight for a little bit, it could be the difference of life and something else.
100%.
So, all right. Meteorologist David Nazario joins us now. He is live in studio. And David, I don't know if you've noticed the heat lamps on behind us here. It feels really nice. We didn't need the umbrellas so much today, but we need the jackets.
Yeah, you all lucked out, and as that front's coming through, to kind of echo what Justin was saying in the package prior to that, you know, you're bobbing and weaving up there, watching out for that rainfall while the rest of Central Florida is getting up all into it. Here's your weather top stories for now. Rain and stormy tonight, but the cold air is going to start to return, and you all are already feeling it up there in the Volusia County. Our northern viewing counties are also starting to get in on some of that, which is rapidly clearing the front out. I'll show you that on radar. And then we're watching our coldest temps as we go through Friday, Saturday, and into the new week ahead. Looking over on our infrared satellite, this is that storm system in question, very low latitude. This is digging into the upper Gulf, moving over northern Central Florida. It's great we're not in an El Nino pattern. This could be a severe weather outbreak if we were, but luckily that's not the shape or the case in this perspective right now. All that cold air is evident on the infrared coming across the rest of the United States, and it will be here within the next 24 hours. Moving over to your radar, I have the overlay pulled up again, and if you look, we still have some storms rocking. So Osceola and now Brevard, hold on to your butts, because it looks like we still have those power outages ongoing with some of the gustier winds in these thunderstorms. But then back up to the northwest, look at how fast this is clearing out. This is moving fairly quickly with the progression of that front. And you can see on our future radar, we're only going a short distance in time. By 8 p.m., most of us are cleared out. By 9, some residual lingering showers for Osceola and Brevard. And then by 10, we're looking pretty good, looking solid out there. And then we can shift gears to the cold temps. These are our national temperatures right now. Bismarck hanging out at a whopping 0 degrees. This is not wind chill. This is the air temperature. And you can see, once again, Central Florida sticking out like the sore thumb that it is, as always. But that cold air is working its way in. It is building in quick. It's a shallow air mass. You see, these are our temperatures outside right now. Pretty big difference between, say, Polk, Osceola, up towards the Gainesville, Ocala, even Daytona Beach at about 65, New Smyrna Beach at 64. That's that temperature difference. And then if we fast forward to the lows, the overnight lows, you can see a pretty good drop all across the board. And your forecast highs for the day tomorrow, not even going to make it into the 70-degree threshold, which I think is pretty good. Nice little break from the mugginess, the humidity. Maybe some of the mosquitoes and the other bugs out there will also take a chill pill as well. And then speaking of pill, what rhymes with that? Well, we got the wind chill. This is what we're going to be looking at on Friday as the coldest air begins to settle in. This is the wind chill. Feel like 24 degrees in Gainesville, 26 in Ocala. It will be close to freezing in Orlando. One thing I find very neat about this, too, is if you look right along the East Coast where that Gulf Stream, the warmer ocean waters are, see the difference here, 34 in Sanford, then 50 in New Smyrna Beach. That's that ocean atmosphere connection there. Go ahead and head over to clickorlando.com and put a couple of stories out about that if you're interested. But regardless, it's crazy how this stuff kind of works together. And then this is why, if you look, the trough is going to keep digging in, and it's going to keep the cold air seeping in. And with that being said, let's get over to your pinpoint accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
So for the next 3 days, we're going to be watching the movement of that cold air. Coldest air is going to settle in for your Friday and Saturday morning before we kind of warm back up just a little bit with an introduction of some showers on Sunday and Monday with, yes, yet again, another weak cold front coming through. Justin and Ginger, back to you.
All right. David, we appreciate it. All right, we are coming to you live from Kona Tiki Bar in beautiful Ormond Beach as we hit the road to this wonderful city. We'll be right back.
Last year, we were watching, actually no, 2023, we were watching Sunday morning, and it was Mike Holfeld talking with Tony Petronas about the My Safe Florida Home program. And as soon as that story ended, I immediately got on my device and applied for the money. And we missed the first round, but later that year, the state legislature funded more money, and we got in on that. And May of last year, we got our new roof. So if it wasn't for the investigators doing that story, we wouldn't have had our new roof like we have now.
All right, so we've been out here for 3 hours now, bringing you the stories of wonderful Ormond Beach. And if you're looking for some more hidden gems, we got you covered on that.
We sure do. News 6 anchor and insider guide Crystal Moyer has read your messages and recommendations for popular spots for locals and has your guide to the city.
Of course, I'm going to let you all be my guide to Ormond Beach. The first stop, Cafe One, where Rodney Robinson said they had the best breakfast and awesome staff. Let's check it out. Cafe One is a diner located along US 1 near Melrose.
We got the grilled cheese.
Serving up comfort in more ways than one.
First off, the food is absolutely wonderful. The selection is great. But the second part is the people. Wonderful servers. They know everybody who comes in here.
What else makes this place unique? It's got a pinball arcade attached. I may have taken a quick break to get in on the fun. Oh no! Did I do okay?
You did really good.
Thank you. That was fun. That was fun. Clearly, I got distracted. So let's get back on the road. Our next stop was recommended by Alice Bonner. She says we should check out the famous High Bridge on the Loop Road. Well, here we are. It's a drawbridge here over the Halifax River. Come on. Underneath the bridge along High Bridge Road sits a 1-acre park with a boat ramp, picnic tables, and a fishing pier that draws visitors in.
Bait shop's right here, and you have a nice place to stand, even if you're not catching fish. It's beautiful scenery. It's tranquil, very tranquil.
Eric Martin wasted no time catching fish. Our next stop takes us to Dunn's Attic and Rosie's Cafe off Granada Boulevard. Roseanne Dunn says it's a must-see high-end consignment store with a cafe, and she did not disappoint.
It's an experience, all one of a kind, unique.
20,000 square feet of space full of treasures like furniture, unique chessboards, decorative dishes, vintage hairpieces, and so much more. The cafe serves breakfast and lunch with a piano player who refuses to leave. Nature lovers will enjoy a stroll at Tomoka State Park off Beach Street.
It's peaceful and very shady for walking.
With plenty of picnic areas lining the basin and nature trails with towering trees. And while you're here, you can learn about the legend of Chief Tomoki. The statue was built in 1955. The 45-foot statue depicting a battle to defeat Chief Tomoki, who's got a sacred cup. You'll have to imagine this mythical story. The statue is pretty beat up here.
This one doesn't have a lot of tourists that really know about it.
Until now. There's much more to Ormond Beach, like the historic Ormond Garage, Dog Beach, and 30-mile scenic loop. Have you been to any of the places I mentioned? Do you have any more recommendations? You can check out my guide to Ormond Beach at clickorlando.com/insider. Crystal Moyer, getting results, News 6.
I'm going to tell you right now, I got another place for you. It's Kona Tiki Bar and Gastro.
This is not a secret anymore.
Grind Gastro Pub, because this place, I want to come back tomorrow and just like chill here.
The atmosphere,
it's awesome.
Food,
they got music.
People.
I think it sounds live.
Yeah, I think it's live too. But it has just been amazing all day long. It has been incredible. The people have been so welcoming, and just anything we need. Just can we get you? Can we help you? Whatever.
It's awesome, man.
And that just speaks to the people here in Ormond Beach, because I don't think they were putting on a show for us.
No.
They've been keeping up an act for quite a while now.
Yeah, it's a little too long.
That's hard to do.
They would have let up before that. Here's the thing. We have so many great places, Central Florida, Ormond Beach included. We got another place that we want to talk about too. That's Oviedo. So, Oviedo, we're coming to you next. If you live or if you work in that community, let us know what makes it so special. Also, let us know the concerns that you want us to look into. I've done some stories in Oviedo, Ginger. I got a hunch it has to do with growth and traffic are going to be the main themes
talkers,
here.
Yeah.
So head to clickorlando.com/hitstheroad. Share your story. We'll look into it. But we also want to hear the good and what maybe some hidden gems, maybe some hidden people that just aren't getting the recognition. We want to highlight them as well.
Let me tell you, and I know you've had the favorite people you've met. I met a woman, she's in her 80s, and she says that I was her favorite. And I was like, ma'am, where did you come from? She literally said, my mom and dad did the deed, and that's how I got here.
Matter of fact.
I was like, wow, that was really specific. It was delightful. Thank you for watching News 6 at 6:30, live here at Ormond Beach. We love you guys.
Take care. Have a great night.
Oh.